Hello everyone, welcome. This is my third video for Grandma Goes, and I thought I'd give a quick update on kind of how it's going for our trip planning. So I decided to film indoors today because outdoors it's very cold. In fact, it sounds like we might actually get snow this weekend. So I decided a walk wasn't something I wanted to do today. So I'm here at home in a nice warm location. So I just wanted to give everybody some information. We finally got to a point where I know what we're doing for our trip to Europe. I'm very excited, a little nervous. We still have some things to figure out, but the big major part is done. We know where we're going to be and on what dates. So we're actually going to start our trip in Florida. We're going to catch a cruise ship in the middle of April. And that cruise ship is going to be a repositioning cruise. And for those of you who don't know what that means, a repositioning cruise it's kind of like if you were to get a U-Haul and they give you a price break when you take the U-Haul to someplace that they need it to be dropped off. And same thing happens with cruise ships. They need to go to their location for the season, and you get a price break if you catch one of those cruises on a one-way trip to wherever they're needing to reposition to. So we're going to help them reposition from the United States. We're going to catch it in Florida, and then it's going to drop us off in Rome. And it's going to be a bit of a cruise. It's going to take about 15 days to get across the water, so it's not a real fast-moving ship, but hopefully I'll be okay as far as motion sickness, stuff like that. I'll take all the precautions that I've been learning about, and that should be an adventure, and we'll definitely record it to put on Facebook at some point. So once we get over to Rome, we're going to spend 4 days exploring Rome and seeing the sights there, maybe taking a tour or two, and then from there we'll be going to Italy for up in the Bologna area, so up in the northern part of Italy, and we'll be there for about 28 days. And 28 days is the reason we're doing that is that's where you get your first price break when you're staying at Airbnbs. So we're going to be staying at what looks like a very nice Airbnb for 28 days. And we'll be exploring the country. I'd like to take some trains around. The rail system and stuff over there is pretty exceptional from what I'm seeing. And there was one train in particular that looked really cool. I think it's down by Spain, but it's a one of a kind. It's one of the only trains I think in the world that the train actually goes up onto a boat, and it ferries across the water. So you're on the train and you can get off and kind of explore the ferry a little bit, and when you get to the other side, the train re-engages with the track somehow and continues on its journey. So that sounds really cool. So we want to do that while we're there. So that will be one of the highlights that we'll do a video on. And then from there, we're going to check out Sweden for probably about 4 days. Sweden is very expensive, and so probably won't be there too long, but we want to take some of the trains. I saw there's a beautiful route that goes around the Alps, so that should be pretty exciting to check out. So that's kind of our goal, one of our goals while we're over there for 4 days. And then from there, we're going to go to Paris and also just spend about 4 days because we'll be there, so why not? And then we need to head that direction because we need to go through the UK on our way to Ireland. And once we get up to Ireland, we also booked an Airbnb there. So we'll be in Ireland for 28 days, which is kind of nice because we can just take our time and explore, take the public transport around and see what we can see. Not sure if we'll need a car. We'll kind of cross that bridge when we get to it. But we're going to try to use public transportation as much as possible. It's probably a little bit more cost efficient and a little more green as far as the country. They kind of encourage that. They'd rather you not drive your cars around if you can help it, or take airplanes, I guess, because that's more expensive. But once we get to Ireland and we're finished with Ireland, we're going to continue up north and end up going through the UK into Scotland and then we've got an Airbnb there for 28 days. So 28 days in Scotland to see the sights, and looking forward to experiencing that culture as well. And then this is a little twist in the trip, because we booked it before we planned all of this, which is kind of maybe not the best plan, but it is what it is. We'll make it work. But there's a group that we are part of on Facebook that's kind of helping us figure out a lot of logistics, and they've traveled around the world as nomads for about 6 or 7 years, and they're called Grounded Life, and they do trips throughout the year to different locations with the group, and they decided to plan a trip to Kruger National Park in Africa. And I've always wanted to do a safari. It's kind of been one of my things, and the safari starts on August 8th, which happens to be our anniversary. So I kind of jumped on that a little premature, and we decided we wanted to do that for our anniversary present to the two of us. So we're going to take a flight, and we'll have to fly over to Africa, and we'll spend a week in the Kruger safari area and see the sights, and then we may stay a little bit longer. Just, we're already over there. We might do a little more sightseeing outside of that. But then we're going to return to the UK. So we'll fly back to the UK and then stay in that area for roughly 28 days. Maybe look at another Airbnb and set that up. And then we'll finish our trip kind of with a bang. We found a really good deal with a ship called the Queen Mary 2, the Queen Mary 2, and it's a ocean liner, I guess one of the last ones in existence. So that will be exciting. And we actually found a really, really good deal that allowed us to get a suite. So we're going to have a queen suite, which will be amazing. I've seen the videos on what the suites are like, and it looks amazing. So I'm very excited about that. So that will be how we wrap up our trip to Europe. And heading back on the Queen Mary 2, that will be a lot faster. Being an ocean liner, it goes at a lot higher pace than most other ships. I guess it's designed to cut through the water pretty efficiently. So it's only going to take us 7 days to get back, whereas it took us 15 days to get there on a cruise ship. So, and it'll bring us right into the port of New York City. So pretty iconic. You get to come into the port and see the Statue of Liberty and the city lights, and it comes in where it's kind of nighttime and the sunrise. So I've seen some videos, and it looks pretty amazing. So looking forward to that. So basically, we'll be going to 7 countries in a little over 6 months. And it should be a pretty whirlwind experience. I'm sure we're going to learn a lot, because we're still figuring out, everything that we needed to do. And like I said, we got the big piece out of the way. We know where we're going to stay and our accommodations. Now we need to look at like the transportation, the trains, some of them like going from Paris to London. There's a train that's a high-speed one. It actually, I think they said it goes like 180 miles an hour or something like that. It's pretty fast. And it actually goes through a tunnel that goes under the canal, under the water. And so that train will want to buy tickets ahead of time. I think they said like a month or 2 ahead of time if you can, because it will save you a significant amount of money instead of waiting till the last minute to book it. So a few of those things, there'll probably be a couple other trains like that we'll want to book ahead of time. And we're still hammering out those pieces, but there's a lot to do and a lot to learn. Paperwork to be filed, new requirements in the UK. You have to file paperwork with your plan ahead of time, and they have to approve you, which that's not usually an issue. You just want to make sure you do all that before you go, because otherwise you may be denied entry. So we have to get that in place. We have to make sure that we get, unfortunately, I don't like needles, but we have to get a shot to go to Africa. It is mandatory to get a yellow fever vaccine, so I'll need to get that taken care of, possibly while we're in Europe, because it's cheaper over there, believe it or not. Yeah, expensive country, but something like a shot, I guess, is cheaper. So I might just do it over there. And it's good for 2 years once you get it. Oh wait, no, it's good for a lifetime. That's right, that's a lifetime vaccine. So that's kind of where we are with our trip planning, and it's very exciting. A little bit nervous about it all, but it'll be an adventure. And I feel, like I said, I think I said on my first video that we were in an RV for almost 8 years. So I'm kind of used to, some of the unknown and some of the things that you encounter as far as having to think on your feet and maybe not always having things be exactly the way you expect them to turn out. So, but it's always an adventure. I mean, I love this kind of a lifestyle, and being able to take it to this next level is very exciting. So I will definitely keep my Facebook videos going so that you guys can follow along and see some of what we experience, and very excited to share it all with you. Anyways, thanks again for listening, and hopefully I'll be with you next week. Thanks. Bye.